Alright guys, we're back at my church. I know we've done a lot of videos here, but I do a lot of work over here. This is the church where the carriers are, and this is the hall, like where they have catechism and stuff like that, and then they got one of the units that's down for the classrooms. So we are going to pull up right here next to them where it's easy for me to get in and out of my truck. And there they are right there. That big Arco Air ICP unit is the one that's giving us trouble. So we're going to go see what the deal is. Okay, we got the old ICP opened up here. And you can see that contactor right there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there are some ants in there. I don't know how good that's showing up on camera. There's a bunch of ants in there. So I got the meter set up on voltage. So we'll go to the bottom two right here, and you would expect to see 240 something, 30 something volts. And we have it, 249 volts. Now, if you go to the top of it, you would expect to see the same thing. But as you can see, we don't have it. Which means the contactor is bad. And maybe not necessarily bad, but there are a bunch of ants in there, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Alright, what I've done is I've broken the contactor. I like to do this to show the customers. And if you look right there, that's ants have got in those points in there and have allowed it, you know, not to make contact, which is why the unit's not coming on. And I will show this to the customer. That way maybe they'll put some ant poison around the unit or stick some mothballs in the cabinet or something like that. So we're going to go get a new contactor, wire it up, and this unit should take off and run fine. Now what I'm doing is I'm simply taking my brush and I'm going to clean out the cabinet, and if you look in here, that's ants. It's full of ants in here. There's a dirt daubler nest right there. So, you know, that's what got the contactor. Good thing, guys, to tell your customers is, and I used to carry mothballs on the truck, and I need to start doing it again. You throw you a couple mothballs in here, and that will prevent ants and other things from getting in here. And or, you know, simply throw some ant poison along the bottom of the unit, or even sprinkle a little bit inside of here. It won't hurt anything to try to avoid that from happening. And you know, keep a happy customer like that. You give them that kind of advice. So that's just another little tip that you can do to help your customer. So I'm gonna finish cleaning this up. Well, I think I just about got it, and then I'm gonna go get a contactor. Okay, we have our new contactor in place. This is a double pole with a cover. That's supposed to prevent ants, but it doesn't. Trust me, they get in there. We went from a single pole to a double pole. A lot of people will give you grief about that. I carry pretty much nothing but double poles on the truck. I don't like single pole contactors. I do carry a couple single poles because I know on heat pumps, if it has a single pole, you got to go back with a single pole for the crankcase heater. But this is not a heat pump, so I usually carry nothing but double pole. And these are your 224 volt lines. Now, guys, look on that. Just beware when you're changing a contactor. If you change the contactor with 24 volts live, you have to be very careful. See how I've got this one parked over here and this one's hanging? You cannot let those touch anything, because if you do, you will blow the fuse on the air handler or the transformer if it doesn't have a fuse link. The best thing to do is go in there and not do like I do. Don't be lazy. See, I'm being lazy, and I didn't want to walk back in there to turn the thermostat off. But I do have experience. I'm pretty good at not blowing them. But you know, if you don't have that much experience, you should take the time to go walk inside, turn the thermostat off. Because as you see here, as I'm going to hook up to 24 volts, we're going to hook up this first one here, and you're not going to hear anything. But when I hook this one up, you are going to hear that contactor click in because this 24 volts is live. See that? Okay, that's the first thing I get out of the way. So that 24 volts is live, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish wiring up the high voltage, and then we'll put the disconnect in, and this unit should fire. Alright guys, another thing you want to remember when you're changing out these contactors and these capacitors, these spade terminals right here, see how loose that is? That's a very loose connection. Okay, it should be a lot more difficult to do that. So what I'm going to do is basically, it's going to be hard to do with one hand. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take my needle nose and I'm going to simply pinch it down just a little bit to make that connection a little tighter. And if you look, that's a much tighter fit. Okay, so now you don't have to worry about that coming loose. Now these, I don't have the Phillip heads, so I'm just going to cut them and stab them into here, and that'll be all she wrote for the contactor. Okay, the contactor is completely wired up, everything's done. We put this disconnect in, this unit should fire. And that's all there is to changing a contactor. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I know changing a contactor is very, very simple stuff, but I can't recall, I don't ever remember seeing anybody actually walk through a contactor replacement, even though it's nothing hard, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm a genius because I did it, but I don't recall anybody else ever walking anybody through changing out a contactor, so I figured I'd do that. And the unit is back alive, she's running, so that's all she wrote for the old Arco. You see there, you got a Arco Air, which is nothing but an ICP. See that right there, Arco Air 10, which is a 10 seer, and you have the same thing right here. And now they're back in business, so they can have catechism, and it is still pretty warm here in Louisiana. It is pretty cool today, but they wanted to go ahead and get it taken care of because the weather is so unpredictable in Louisiana. It can be 40 degrees today and 80 degrees tomorrow here. So our weather is very, very unpredictable. So I figured I'd get them taken care of, and just in case. And I thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.